guys, welcome to Beyond the Spectrum, a podcast yet again, conversations with parents about autism and beyond. I am your host, Clint, from Autism and Beyond, where we do support and one-on-one coaching for children with autism. So today's guest, I haven't actually worked with her child. This is the first time where I haven't actually worked with a child. So funny enough that we met Tess through the agency we're getting to do our SEO for Autism and Beyond. And we connected over the fact that her child, older child, has autism. We have a good chat for a different perspective from, I guess, more of an older child and her journey that she faced going through and the challenges and successes she had with him. So hopefully you enjoy the podcast. As always, if you would like to be a guest on our show, please email me at info@autismandbeyond.com.au. Welcome, Tess. Tell us a little about yourself and, tell us about you.
Thank you very much, Clint. I am a very proud mother of 2 children. One is 23 now, and my boy on the spectrum is 21. And very happily married, which is no small effort on our part throughout the years. And I actually work at Excite Media, which is how I met you.
That's right, helping us get popular.
Yes, which is going to be very easy, I think.
I guess the first question is, are they diagnosed? And did you get them diagnosed at a young age or older age? Or
Yeah, so he most certainly is diagnosed. So he's one of these children who also had a heart condition. So he was sort of under the radar from a very, very early age, and there was a lot of intervention around his heart. He's got a few other soft indicators, bony issues and skeletal issues. Yeah, he came under the radar very early. So from, I think, when the speech delay was happening, and Sam, bless him, I called him the 11th hour kid. So he would just, he would push out that, that milestone to the very, very end and then start talking. Just when we'd sort of organise speech therapy and the Macaton sign, but he was diagnosed at 4.
Right.
And I actually looked over his notes the other day, and it was, Sam became quite obsessed with the shark and stopped answering questions. So it was very obvious. He had all of the little, the spectrum things occurring at that age, and was very, speech delay, very obsessive about his interests, really, really focusing in on his sister, on me. Although he is quite good with, looking people in the eye. So there are a few things that aren't so obvious with Sam. And as I've come to know more people on the spectrum, a person on the spectrum is just a person on the spectrum. You've met one, and there are typical signs, but there are also people who diverge from that. So Sam is quite social as well, and when I say that, he enjoys people much more than a lot of his friends. And he's sort of the organizer of his group, but so he was diagnosed very early. We had a lot of intervention and a lot of support, which was great.
Was that with the heart stuff you mentioned? Was that related to? Was it the Ehlers-Danlos, where with the stretch marks on the back and that can have heart, or was that a completely different?
It was completely different. Yeah, he actually didn't have an aortic arch, which is a really necessary piece of the whole heart thing. So he was born without an aortic arch. So we had full heart surgery for him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it was very challenging, and he does need to go in for more surgery at one point. But so that's. Yeah, but thankfully, because of that, there was a lot of early intervention, and he was on the radar, early on. So we did manage to get a lot of support for him at that really critical time, from sort of 5 and then all the way through his primary school years. He had a great unit at Kenmore State School. They were so helpful, and in giving me strategies as well. I think 21 years ago, or 15 years ago when he was diagnosed, there was still a lot of, and I've noticed this has really changed, and I'm so grateful for it. There was still a lot of, well, we can sort of, apply behavioural techniques to sort of, teach them how not to do this. I've always approached Sam as this is who he is. He has autism. He is neurodivergent. He definitely has strengths, like so many of them. I don't want to set him up thinking I need to behave my way out of any of those autistic traits. I was very fortunate in that I had a group of girlfriends all of our kids went to the unit, and that was our approach as well. Just accept and help and appreciate.
Yeah, well said. It's a diagnosis. It's not, it's not
prognosis.
It's not anything bad, and it's about, working with the differences and understanding the differences. And I think that's the big thing is that as time goes, there's more understanding and just from the community at large, and creates, a better world. A lot of the kids I work with, and I've mentioned it before, I tell kids, because they're all pretty quick to tell me I've got autism and this, and it's like, and my response is always the same, like, yeah, cool, great, awesome, it's like, and and I do, some of them, if they are down, I sort of say it's your superpower, and they look at me like, how so? I'm like, well, you see the world through a different lens, you see things completely different, and it's like the way the world's going, we need different thinkers, so you'll be the leaders of the future, like taking us in that different direction, and it sort of always gives them that moment of like, oh yeah, I feel super. So that's interesting, and obviously you've had maybe not fair to say, but a lot more challenges than other families growing up. So with the heart stuff, and did you find it hard to manage both, or was it sort of like, the heart stuff is obviously priority versus the other side, or?
Yes. Yes. It's always been, there have always been several different things going on with Sam, which require management. I also am fortunate to have a great GP. So I think the key is support. I live, 3 blocks away from my parents when Sam was little. They were so supportive. My girlfriends, most of them, when we were in primary school and high school, they also had children on the spectrum. I think that has been my greatest blessing in this, is that I've had a lot of support. So it's although there has been a lot going on with Sam, it's just made easier. It is never a truer word was said. It takes a village to raise a child, and it really takes a village to raise a kid on the spectrum and with other health issues. And luckily I've had that village.
That's great. And I think for my side of things is I want to be part of that village and trying to make life easier, or give the parents the time out, or be that mentor that quite often, how many times I've heard stories like parents will say, can you just tell them to do such and such, because they won't listen to me, and I'll be like, right, you got to do this, and it's like, okay. So that's probably the same as husbands, and as well, they don't listen to
the parent factor is very real with kids on the spectrum. And the thing is, once they get that idea in their head, like, it's like, okay, right, this is my idea, I don't listen to them. I find also that's been very important for Sam as well, having that particularly the older male uncle style mentor. He has 2 uncles and 1 cousin who's quite older than him, a bit older. The cousin actually is neurodiverse as well, so that has been brilliant. They function as Sam's mentors, so we haven't really had to go outside and find like an organisation like yours, but wow, you're providing such an important scaffold for young boys. They need to see, they need to have an older male that isn't their dad in their life. I think, it just guarantees. not guarantees, but it gives them so much more emotional, that sense of belonging is what I found.
Interesting. One of the boys I've seen for, I don't know, 3-4 years now, and watching our relationship evolve. It started off when he first started me, he wouldn't take his shoes off, he wouldn't do anything outdoors, and we'd end up just walking around chatting about mythical creatures. Fast forward, I think he's in grade 11 now, and now we're talking about girls and relationships, and I'm out of my depth sometimes. I'm just like, and he calls me his shaman, like I'm his shaman, because he's still into that mythical stuff, and we have, I guess, quite meaningful conversations, and it's good to be able to see that evolve, like just that nurturing and growing, and seeing like, he's talking about moving to Melbourne for uni and all this sort of stuff. So having that place and, that support, I think, in their lives is what we're always trying to strive for, that mentor, big brother, big uncle, big auntie. Did you find that did you look after your health and your well-being through all of these challenges, or did you sort of find you put that on the back burner and sort of?
I did put it on the back burner, and that was disastrous. So you have to put it. Yeah, you have to put yourself first. It is just that. You have to put your well-being first when you're dealing with a lot of things. And I think it's great. Like Sam now comes to Qigong with me. So, now we can do these things together. I'm teaching him about how to take care of his emotional and mental well-being as well. But I'm also neurodiverse, so I have ADHD, which is, pretty common, having a lot of neurodiversity within the family. So, I actually did have quite a bad depressive episode, came through that, and I try and put priority. I try 80% there. I do get a little bit perfectionist about it, but I try and put that on the front foot. Make sure and it's really simple. It's the simple things that we forget to do. It's like a walk every day. Eat your greens. Make sure you're taking fish oil. Like just to, get your exercise in, do qigong. And therapy as well. So I see a therapist just sort of who's got a great deal of understanding around neurodiversity on both people on the spectrum and ADHD, who I can talk through things with, and that's been critical as well.
I think that's a great point, because yes, we work with the children specifically, primarily, but I'm always like, right, how do we support the parents? How do we support the parents? And it's interesting. There's always quite a bit of resistance there, and it's good because I'm not a parent. It's good for another parent to say, yes, you must look after your health. And it's the old adage, like, if the plane's going down, you've got to put your oxygen mask on first. You can't help anyone. You passed out on the floor.
And the thing is, I do think, having observed from my circle of friends, it does take a bit of a crisis to get to that point. You are just putting everything into this child, like, because when they're younger, I remember saying to Sam so many times, darling, I can't talk about Ben 10 anymore. Like, I can't listen to Spider-Man anymore. They are really repetitive. They do take a lot of your attention, and you want to give it, but you have to be in a really well place to be able to give them the attention and the love and the support that they need.
100%. I think that's true. And again, I can do that because I only see them for half an hour or an hour, and it is Minecraft and Roblox these days. They hit me with it all, and I've played Roblox a couple times, just to see what it's about. Minecraft I haven't touched, but just having that conversation with kids about it, again, it builds that rapport and trust. To me, it's that little sneaky little backdoor into helping them achieve more, because they're like, wow, genuine interest, and then it's like, right, so let's tell me about what's happening here or here. If you had to give, well, you've already given some good tips for parents, any other advice from your journey that you've been through. Is there anything in particular that you think would be valuable for listeners to hear?
I think the big thing for me was, now I'm at a different stage. So the school age stage, it is very demanding, but also they're at school. So I did think about what's going to happen after school. It's a whole different challenge. You're looking at the next 40 years rather than the next year, or getting them through the next school year. So my advice to myself 5 years ago would be start looking at the disability support payments, start looking at different organisations that can help Sam get into those job placements. Except, I had hoped that Sam would go through TAFE, but I'd also tell that to myself 5 years ago as well. The TAFE system I have found is, they say that they're very supportive. I think it probably depends on where their strengths are. Sam has no executive function, so planning an organisation is very difficult for him, and that didn't fit into this. I wish I had have just given a little more thought to this time of his life, because although he's having a whale of a time, and he does go out with his mates occasionally, and he's doing a lot of NDIS activity, now I feel like I need to start setting him up for life. So part-time job, or in whatever capacity he can do, disability support payments, start looking at financial advice for him, and start getting him to put away $100 a week so that he can have that. Just those sorts of. And I know every parent with a child who is special, all the special parents out there, because we're the ones who get the special kids, it is always a fear that sits in the back of your mind. What happens when I go?
Yeah.
And I just, instead of it being a fear, I'm looking that fear straight in the face right now and trying to just make plans.
That's good, and I think something I bring into my sessions randomly is conversations about future, like whether it's work, jobs. I've got quite a few kids who are young, want to start a business, and again, most of them want to be YouTubers, and I take the approach of it's like, okay, cool, you want to be a YouTube star, cool. What are you going to do? Like, instead of saying, oh, you can't do that, it's like, okay, what do we need to do now to help you take those steps and that future planning as well. Again, from my perspective, it's only a little blip in their whole life, but it's just that question, like, they probably get told 1,000 times, you can't do YouTube, you can't do YouTube. I'd sort of put the script and go, okay, what do we need to do? And it's like, and I do say, just so you know, it's like 0.1% of YouTubers will become, Mr. Beast. But I really like that sort of, future proofing or future planning with them, and it doesn't have to be set in concrete. It's just planting those little seeds and building that confidence. We do have conversations about pocket money. Is like, right, the old pay yourself first. Put 10% away for yourself, and 10% to charity, and So no, I think that's really good. Tip. And
that's perfect. And I think the thing is that they need that support ongoing. So it's once they've got that, and I know once they've got that idea in their head, that's it. Like, so Sam is going to sell mead at some point of his life. He's made mead. Now he's like trying to work out how to sell it. So there's no, there's no limit to what they can do. It's just supporting them through. And the other thing I found is like a daughter who's, she found a girlfriend. She's at university. She's now moved out. She got her car license. I didn't realize how much we put on milestones. Like, okay, she's at this stage. She's at this stage. She's at this stage. And I've noticed with Sam, those milestones aren't. I'm sure he'll get there, but they're just not. They're not as present. And lately we've been talking about, let's find different milestones. Like, let's sort of ignore the neurotypical world and let's look at our neurodiverse world. What milestones do you want? And so those sorts of conversations are the ones we're having at the moment about, so where does he want to go now? He doesn't want to drive. I don't think he'll ever drive. So I said, well, that's fine. Like, if you don't want to drive, because the seats are uncomfortable and other people are idiots. And, and it uses too much petrol, and petrol is destroying the environment. So so we're looking at those sorts of goals at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think that that's important. It's probably true for everybody, isn't it? Milestones. I guess they're not real in essence, are they? They're just self-measuring type of thing. Like, I should be doing this and I should be doing this, and I think when you can break the shackles of milestones and sort of go, hey, this is the journey I'm on, and that's okay. And I find myself actually I've just started my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes, and I think a lot. I'm like, right, I should be able to do this, and this, and everyone keeps saying, how long you've been doing it for 3 months? Like, what are you expecting? And it's always a good reminder to go, I need to step it back, and it is that long-term journey. It's not just do it for 3 months and be the greatest ever. At the moment, it's just survival for me. It's like I didn't get tapped out 5 times. It's like, you're really
yes,
that's a win. I get up. Like,
I'm taking that.
So I think personally, I think milestones are it's almost that ego-driven thing, and if you can reset your milestones as more of a personal milestones, not comparing yourself against everyone else, I think you'd be a lot better off. And in our business course, we talk about it as like, don't judge up and don't judge down. So don't look at the people above you and be like, oh man, they're so good, they're doing this and this, but also not the other way. Go, looking at other people, go, oh, they haven't even done this. So I think I think that's a very good thing. Is just don't judge up, don't judge down. Just sort of focus on your journey. I'm not sure if you know, but there are a couple meaderies up on the sunny coast. Maybe Yandina, I think there is one.
Yes.
So there's some market research to be done.
Market research to be done. There is, and it's so funny. He's going, well, so where are we going to get the bottles for the mead? And so we're going to have to go and buy some mead to get the bottles to fill it with our mead. I said, okay, no, we don't have to do that. We can actually just get, but I think he's got me there. Yeah, we actually went down for his 21st, because at the moment the obsession is anything history, so Vikings, and he's a great Greek myth professor. Yeah, so that's sort of 600 years of history he knows everything about. So we went down to Molnir, which is a Viking restaurant in Sydney, for his 21st, and took the mentor cousin, and it was fantastic. And he actually had mead in a cocktail, and he was just so
very good. Next, so you'll have to go to the medieval festival at Caboolture, because there's Vikings and there's mead, and they're drinking out of the old cow horns, and it's.
Yeah, so he's got all of that. It's like so funny. And when we went to Italy, and he was walking around Rome, and he was going, oh look, Romulus and Remus. He was 11. Oh, Romulus and Remus. And I was going, who are Romulus? He said, Mum, the founders of Rome, blah blah blah. It's like walking around professor. It was great.
It's amazing.
It is just such a gift. It is just such a gift. He is so different and so fabulous. He's a very unique way. I feel very privileged to be on his journey with him.
And I think that's how I feel. With all the kids I work with, it's always so grateful that parents have let me spend time. You know, it can sound, I don't know, it comes across corny, but like,
doesn't it? But
it's 100% how I feel. Like all my emails, like if it's time to renew, it's like, yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity to spend time with your family. You know, and it is a genuine, you know, it is a genuine thing for me. So if anyone's listening to this, it's not just a throwaway line. Like I'm so grateful that I get to do that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
so.
it's a window into a completely different world, isn't it? It's so unique, and the way they think is so unique. It's lovely to touch base with that.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add before we wrap her up?
Oh, I think you're doing great work. I really do. Yeah, I really do. I think, you know, there definitely a need for the sort of work you're doing in the community, particularly in today's world where our nuclear families are, you know, sort of fractured from that wider web of relations that I'm really, really fortunate to have. But I just see the need for your sort of organisation where that doesn't exist within a family. It's critical.
And lots of fishing.
That's critical too, of course.
100%.
You have the most job.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, I'm glad it's you, mate. I'm glad it's you.
All right, thanks for your time today, Tess. And,
Thanks so
appreciate it. Now, if anyone wants to reach out to you, or are you open to people contacting you, or you?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm trying to do a lot of advocacy work. So that's something that I'm really interested in for both, ASD and ADHD. You can reach out to me at tess@excitemedia.com.au and I'll respond immediately.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.